It's come that time where we finally discuss Venom in Marvel Spider-Man 2. And if you didn't by chance check out my review for Marvel Spider-Man 2, where we go into pretty much almost everything from the gameplay to the story to specific characters to whatever we talked about. We talked about pretty much everything good, bad. I gave my score for the game personally, so if you haven't checked that out, you should after this video. But if you did already check out my review, you would know I think Venom sucked in Marvel Spider-Man 2, and I didn't really go too far in depth into detail in that video because I wanted to make a whole separate video on Venom, and yeah, that's what today's video is. And for those of you who know, I'm an Eddie Brock Venom fan. It's not even necessarily because Venom is hairy in Spider-Man 2. There's so much more as to why Venom in Spider-Man 2 just wasn't that great as far as the motivations, the characteristics, and why Insomniac's Venom did not land well for me. Venom not being Eddie is part of the reason, but it's like a small part of the reason or whatever, because like there's so much more to it than that. So here is why Venom isn't Venom in Marvel Spider-Man 2. So first, let's just go over who Venom is, how he was created, and some character defining moments and characteristic traits throughout history. And then, we're gonna compare who Venom is at the core to Venom in Spider-Man 2. And like, we're gonna gloss over this section of the video because like we pretty much all know who Venom is, but I do have to reiterate some of this shit so that, just like quick little refresher reminder type shit. So back in 1984, Secret Wars issue 8 came out with the infamous iconic cover of Spider-Man with the brand new black and white costume. Again, we're gonna gloss over from this point to when Venom becomes Venom. Spider-Man got the symbiote, as we know from Secret Wars, on Battle World. He brought that bitch back to Earth. He used it for a bit of time in the comics. That was until he eventually took it off in a bell tower of a church. Not until though he ruined Eddie Brock's career on accident, that is, because as we know, Eddie Brock was a reporter for the Daily Globe. Spider-Man was dealing at the time with the Sin Eater who had killed his beloved cop friend Jean DeWolf. Eddie Brock thought he cracked who the Sin Eater was, so he wrote a newspaper article on it. Then Spider-Man ended up finding the real Sin Eater with, I believe, the help of Daredevil. After Eddie Brock tried to commit suicide due to his career being ruined by Spider-Man, his father disowning him, and as well being divorced by his wife, he went to Our Lady of Saints Church to pray for forgiveness, the same church that Spider-Man took the symbiote off, and coincidentally, they were there at the same time. The hatred Eddie Brock had for Spider-Man was sensed by the symbiote's rejection, hatred, and betrayal of Spider-Man, so they merged together to become Venom. Eddie's hatred further twisted the symbiote's feelings towards Spider-Man into a hyperfixation of either killing him or reclaiming him. Despite the symbiote bond to Eddie, the symbiote viewed Eddie as inferior to Spider-Man. The symbiote kind of viewed Spider-Man as its soulmate when really they had a love-hate twin flame relationship. After numerous times of Venom trying to kill Spider-Man, and in between those attempts of trying to kill him, trying to rebond with Spider-Man, they eventually just called a truce after realizing Carnage was a much bigger and important threat. From there on, he was the lethal protector anti-hero, and on and off, coming back to try and kill Spider-Man for years to come. That's what happened in the comics. Now let's briefly go over the animated series, which changed the symbiote storyline for years. Essentially, it was really similar. Only major differences are that Eddie and Peter worked at the Bugle together instead of working at separate newspapers, and Eddie and Spider-Man already had history of not liking each other due to a couple of encounters of Spider-Man ruining Eddie's photography chances. The symbiote actually made Peter more angry and aggro to his loved ones, made him do some more questionable things like trying to kill Rhino and Shocker. Not sure if Venom said this in the comics, but in the animated series he did say, from now on we are poisoned to you, Spider-Man, that's why we call ourselves Venom. The animated series is based off the comics though. I think he did say it in the comics, not entirely 100% sure on that. Okay, so now let's analyze why Venom became Venom. The symbiote hated Spider-Man, right, for rejecting him. Pretty simple, that's all there is to that half of the equation. The other half of the equation, Eddie hated Spider-Man for ruining his life. Pretty simple, that's all there is to that. Combine them, they become Venom, because they both hate Spider-Man, they both want to kill him. Well, the symbiote wants to kill or rebond with him, typically anyway. More of, if I can't have you, no one can have you. Whereas, you know, Eddie just wants to kill him or whatever. Now on surface level, it seems pretty simple, but this bond between the host and the symbiote's hatred for Spider-Man stems into a lot more when you really look at who Venom is at the core. Venom relentlessly pursues Spider-Man to try and kill him. It's an obsessive hatred. It's an unhealthy obsession, an unhealthy hatred. So much so that Venom is willing to bring the fight to Spider-Man continuously. For Venom, giving up is not an option when it comes to killing Spider-Man, unless it's like, you know, a truce thing that is a for now thing. That being said, to quickly recap who Venom is and the characteristics and character trait wise, hates Spider-Man. Not only hate, it's an obsession hate for Spider-Man. Relentlessly pursues Spider-Man in an attempt to kill or rebond with Spider-Man, usually just kill though. A strong bond created over the hate for Spider-Man. The combination of those four character traits are what makes Venom so special as a character in the Spider-Man Rogues gallery. And now you may say, oh well, every villain hates Spider-Man, or every Spider-Man villain hates him. And if you are one of these people, you deserve a smack on the head, because how fucking dumb can you be? Let me lay this out for you simply. Of course every Spider-Man villain hates Spider-Man. Can a bird fly? If you said yeah, of course. But the key difference is that Venom, again, has an unhealthy obsession with hating Spider-Man compared to other villains. Yeah, they hate him, but not as much as Venom does, and the host do. The symbiote and the host literally bonded over their hatred, their pure hatred, the obsession of hating Spider-Man. That's what makes this character so great and sets him apart from the rest of his rogues gallery. This clip from Spider-Man the Animated Series perfectly captures who Venom is as a Spider-Man villain.
Back off! He belongs to us. What are you doing, you? How am I gonna fight both those creeps at the same time? Huh? Whose webbing is that?
Okay, so now with that all out of the way, let's go over Venom in Spider-Man 2 PS5. Venom's motivations in Spider-Man 2 are complicated, to say the very least. The marketing literally contradicts what happens in the game. Not only that, but Venom's motivations do not align with the original Venom motivations, and is why Venom in Spider-Man 2 is severely lacking in not only personality, not only the core characteristics of Venom, but in general, just the beloved symbiote, Venom. So let's go over the host first. Of course, in this adaptation, sadly, Harry is Venom. Harry and Pete have been best friends since childhood. I think it was established. That was pretty much established in Spider-Man 2 and was established / teased in Spider-Man PS4. With that being said, Venom in Spider-Man 2 and it being Harry fell flat because it was about giving Peter a similarly structured villain to Spider-Man PS4. Spider-Man PS4 had Otto, mentor turned supervillain Doc Ock. We're gonna bring up Miles too. Miles' game had Finn, amazing childhood best friend turned supervillain Tinkerer. Both for different reasons, but similar concept, close person to protagonist turned supervillain. Otto worked well, while Finn was kind of iffy and seems to have the fan base divided. The main issue is that Harry comes back into Pete's life, gives him a job. We do get to spend some time with Harry, but not enough. We first get this flashback sequence, which I didn't think was great to bond with Harry, but I thought the sequence was cool for seeing like Peter back around his origin time in this universe. Then we get one mission with Harry as quote-unquote Agent Venom, and that's it. Once Pete gets the symbiote, Harry just disappears for great amounts of time during the second act of the game. Only thing is, we don't necessarily forget about him because what we are doing in the second act is to try and get help for him. Now here's where the issue lies. There's nothing of Harry individually, or let me rephrase that. The game doesn't individually take interest in Harry. Yeah, they set up Pete and Harry's friendship, but we don't really know this guy. We don't care about him much yet. I feel like they didn't give us a reason to care because we didn't go through anything with Pete and Harry, or even just Harry for that matter, like the most important character in the game since he's Venom. And to further explain what I mean in a better way, in Spider-Man PS4, with Otto, we saw the bond that Pete and Otto had as mentor-mentee, but also just their love for science. We saw them build the neural interface together, the arms together from the ground up. We were there with them right there at every good turn, bad turn. We went through that journey with them together, beginning to end, good, bad, and everything in between. With Miles and Finn, it was a little different, but you know, there was a connection there between them. They clearly both liked each other. Me personally, I was rooting for them to, you know, be together, but they were on opposite sides. Finn tied to her emotional connection with Rick of wanting revenge against Krieger for killing Rick, but Miles on the other hand feeling similar or whatever as Finn, and understands where Finn is coming from, but wants to do the right thing because he has a code to abide by. But then on the other hand, Finn is not willing to abide by that code that Miles is. She loves or likes Miles, but not enough to abide by his code. We went through that struggle with them throughout Miles' game. To put it short, I don't think we really got that great of a reason to care about Harry. We didn't go through anything with Harry. I guess you could kind of say we went through the struggle of like Peter and Harry, like as far as like Peter trying to help Harry with his disease, but I mean, he barely showed any emotion, and when he did show emotion, it was literally right before he turned into Venom. There should have been more of that throughout the story or whatever. There should have been some urgency of, hey Pete, I need this suit or I'm going to die or whatever, you know what I mean? He was just kind of like, hey, I need the suit back or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, he wasn't mad or anything about it. He was just like mad, nonchalant about it. And then not him throwing shade at Pete like, oh yeah, it's great, isn't it? Head ass. Speak up with your chest, like Peter said.
Why don't you pop some more pills and say what you really feel?
Is it just me, or was Insomniac self-aware? Anyways, that's enough about just Harry. In short, as far as Harry, he's just a decent side character that has a little development that all of a sudden takes center stage in the third act of the game, Spider-Man 2. Now let's get into more specifically Venom. The symbiote in Spider-Man 2 seems to be just manipulating Harry to heal the world like Harry's dream is, by taking over the world with the symbiote, giving everybody a symbiote, essentially Web of Shadows, which I mean is fine and could have been fine. Could have been done in a different way as well, but we're gonna go over that later. But the symbiote manipulated Harry and really wants to take over the world for whatever reason that may be, whether it be for the symbiote god Null, because they do have that symbol in the game, or maybe just for itself it wants a new symbiote world. Who really knows, because that was not clear in the game why Venom wanted to do it so bad, like create Symbiote City or whatever. Another thing, there's no symbiosis dynamic. It's just the suit is fine until it gets to Spider-Man, then it starts to get evil. Then when it goes back to Harry, it's weird because it's like, okay, is Harry under the influence, or is it just the symbiote using Harry as a puppet? Well, it's clearly the symbiote using Harry as a puppet, because at the end of the game, Harry clearly doesn't seem to know what the fuck is going on based off of this scene where he says,
Pete, what's happening? Just hang on, buddy! Please, no. Leave him alone.
the symbiote is just taking Harry's body for a joyride at this point. If anything, Harry is literally just a victim of the symbiote, because it literally is just using Harry's body as a puppet. So now that we established the symbiote is pretty much in full control, let's compare Venom's motivations from Spider-Man 2 and actual Venom's motivations. Spider-Man 2 Venom motivation is, well, there's no S because there's just one. Wants to take over the world. That's pretty much it. Okay, and comic Venom, or just general Venom adaptations. Hates Spider-Man. Not only hate, it's an obsession hate for Spider-Man. Relentlessly pursues Spider-Man in attempt to kill or rebond with Spider-Man, usually just to kill though. A strong bond created over hate for Spider-Man. Well shit, are we seeing the disconnect here, guys? Are we seeing why this Venom does not really work that well in this story? There isn't any hatred for Peter, it's more of, I want to heal the world, I want to do it with you, but if you get in the way, I'm hurting your ass. He doesn't even want to hurt Peter or Spider-Man. He doesn't really care. That's the main problem. That's not Venom. That's whatever the fuck this guy is, despite him calling himself Venom. He does not get to call himself that. No, no, no. He does not deserve to say, "We are Venom." The "We are Venom" line should feel deserved. It's about the two entities of the host and the symbiote coming together, fusing together, creating this new persona solely dedicated to making Spider-Man's life hell, being poison to Spider-Man, hence the name Venom. So there should have been a reason why they picked that name. Okay, low-key, I'm hating. But am I though? I think I'm genuinely right as far as, you know, Venom not being true Venom. Now, I do think Venom could have worked with Harry, yes, but like they fucked it up because, again, correct motivations are not there. For example, oh, Peter, you want to destroy the one thing that will keep me alive? What kind of friend are you? Or use the fact that Norman said things to Pete in that one scene that maybe Norman has never said to Harry, despite Norman going through the most to save Harry. So even then, it's kind of meh excuse to hate Peter. So yeah, Harry doesn't even use any valid reasons for becoming Venom. Comic Venom, or just Venom in general, symbiote wants to kill Spider-Man or rebond with him. Eddie wants to kill Peter / Spider-Man. I feel like Insomniac said when making Venom for this game, Venom wanting to kill Spider-Man. That's a fucking stupid idea. Throw that out the window. But then the crazy part is they literally false advertised us. Like, oh wait, we marketed him to want to kill Spider-Man and not take over. Bro, how do you fuck up that bad? You literally marketed Venom to not want to take over the world or rob banks or whatever. He doesn't want to be a typical Spider-Man villain. He just wants to kill Spider-Man. Whole time, bro just wants to take over the world. I'm thinking, when did Venom ever even want to kill Spider-Man in this game? He had MJ fight Spider-Man as Scream, but that's as close as it gets, really. In my opinion, Insomniac could not have fumbled harder. Where was the obsessive hatred? Where was the relentless thrill of attempting to kill Spider-Man? The Venom we all know and love relentlessly pursues Spider-Man, bringing the fight to him. None of that was here. And like I said, I think Harry as Venom could maybe have worked, but again, like they just completely somehow ignored Venom's motivations and why Venom became Venom in the first place. Again, I think they should have honed in on the "you were keeping it from me all to yourself and then wanted to destroy the one thing that's keeping me alive, you betrayed me, etc." But they didn't. For some reason, again, they just threw it out the window. Oh my god, actually another way they could have tackled the Web of Shadows aspect of the story, like turning Symbiote City or whatever, fuck the heal the world thing. Throw that out the window. Instead, on top of everything I just mentioned about betrayal and wanting to destroy the one thing that'll keep Harry alive, right? On top of all that, right? Hear me out. They could have added, on top of that, we've been friends for years. You've never trusted me with your secret. You've only cared about helping the city. So much so that you would let me die to take care of the city better with the suit than without the suit and help me be healthy again and keep me alive. So for that, we're gonna destroy your precious city you care so much about. I think that could have worked actually, but I don't know. Even then, I think they still should have just went with Eddie. Not every villain has to have an emotional connection because Venom is the consequence of Spider-Man not taking responsibility for his actions during his time in the symbiote, despite the great power he held, and ultimately for rejecting it as well. Although Spectacular Spider-Man did Venom with an emotional connection pretty well, I will say that. But also lastly, this was just a weird Venom adaptation because Venom is Harry, and like here's the thing, right? Venom is Harry, but they took direct inspiration from Eddie Brock Venom adaptations like Web of Shadows, Donny Cates' Venom run, the Venom movies, all Eddie Brock adaptations. And it's weird because alright, like put it this way, they essentially made a Miles adaptation and had him completely faithful to the comic counterpart of Miles, but they wrote him as if he was Peter. That's the equivalent to what they did with Venom in this game. So yeah, in conclusion, Venom isn't Venom in Marvel Spider-Man 2 PS5 because they build the bond between Harry and Peter, but they didn't even use it to fuel Harry's hatred for Peter or Spider-Man. They didn't really give Venom his core character motivations to even want to kill Spider-Man. There was no obsessive hatred. There was no relentlessly chasing Spider-Man, trying to kill him. None of that. On top of that, we don't have a good reason to give a fuck about Harry neither. What do you think? Do you think Insomniac Spider-Man 2 is a good adaptation of Venom after hearing my analysis on it and think, nah, Scarlet, you're just fucking stupid, bro. The fuck do you know about Venom? He's great in Marvel Spider-Man 2. Or do you think, hey, I mean, shit, they should have just had Eddie Brock, you feel me? Or at the very least, gave Venom some motivations to actually kill Spider-Man and, you know, have him actually attempt to kill Spider-Man, just maybe, you know. Shit, I think I cooked, but let me know. I want to hear your opinion, so make sure to comment down below so I can interact with you in the comments. Thank you for taking time out every day to click on this video. If you're new to the channel, I try my best to cover confirmations, rumors, leaks regarding Spider-Man media and whatever else I'm interested in. So if that's what you're interested in, hit the subscribe button. We're on the road to 5K. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed this video and to check out my last upload at the top left. Hope you ever had a good day. Hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time.